Oh,
We are live here. It's Becky Chernek, and with Chernek Consulting, guys, I have been providing the very best in finance and insurance training for our automotive dealerships throughout the USA and Canada. And where I actually started from was in Baltimore. So here I am bringing you the best of the best, the Mr. Kevin Colabucci. I am telling you, he has run some major big dealership throughout the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. And currently he is now with Wilkins Automotive Group. So let's go ahead. Let's bring Kevin on. Kevin, I'm so glad you were able to make it this afternoon with me on Facebook Live.
thank you, Becky. Welcome. Glad to be here. Glad to have some fun. God knows that we haven't had a lot of fun in the last couple of weeks.
Well, first thing I want to make sure everybody knows what to do here. We want to share. We want to share this out to everyone. Get it out there, because I'm telling you right now, we are going to hear from the best in the industry. And one of the things that, I really want to talk about this because, I'm getting it. I don't want to hear from an outside vendor perspective. We want to hear about what's happening in the trenches. How are dealers handling this COVID, post-COVID-19? What are they doing to, put in maybe better practices? I don't know, best practices to help to sell more cars and maximize their profits, and maybe being more proactive and reinventing the wheel in some cases. So, Kevin, you're in the trenches. You're seeing this go live every single day. What's going on?
Yeah, the toughest thing right now is, keeping the team motivated, keeping their enthusiasm, keeping their energy going. Right now, I look at some of the people up in Pennsylvania, these dealers, and I feel so bad for them because, they got people out of work that want to work and, want to give to the community. They're part of the community and they can't do anything. So I feel terrible for them. For us, we're working on appointment only. A lot of our associates are so scared they don't want to come to work. And the ones that do come to work, they're not working like they used to. When I started in the business, I asked what my hours were. He said, take your key, put it in, turn it, and then when you leave, you turn the key. It's called key to key. Well, those days are gone. So everybody's working on shorter hours, a little less opportunities. But I think it is a time unlike any other for everybody in the car business for us to hone our skills. We're getting better at digital retailing, which we're a little uncomfortable with, but we're learning as we go. Unfortunately, the vendors have 5 million webcasts and they're experts on it, but we've been in this for a month. I don't know how anybody's an expert on anything in 30 days. But, the millennials have changed us a lot anyway, because they're not working the way a lot of people my age did when we first got in the business. And they've been real transparent. So it is a constant learning evolution that we all got to learn. We all got to try to get better. The good ones are trying to hone their skills. Are you learning your product knowledge a little better? Are you working on your presentations? Are you looking at your selling process? Nobody wants to take a test drive. The salesmen don't want to get in the car with the customers. Customers don't necessarily want. So we're in a weird place, and we just got to work through it. Everybody's doing everything we have to do. We got our disinfectants, our Lysol, we got our Redskin mask. We have whatever we have to do. Yeah, they like the Ravens here in Baltimore. They don't like the Reds.
Well, I've always been a Redskin fan. I know people don't touch. But I always used to love Jack Cook, the stadium with his freaking glasses and his crazy wife.
Oh yeah.
She was always having a good time in town.
Yeah.
Dancing on cars. So it made it kind of fun. So there is a lot of I guess buzzing going on, buzzwords going on with this digital retailing piece, and gosh, you got to have this digital platform on your website. But then, some of these dealers, they put this digital platform, whatever that it may be, but the reality of it is nobody in the dealership actually uses it or even knows how it works. So, so it's technology, and it's great, but if it doesn't go hand in hand with your dealership culture, your mindset, obviously it's a waste of time and money, right? I mean, it's just a waste of money.
That's right. And stuff like Darwin and the different, that's there already.
Mm-hmm.
How much they're using it and how much we become transparent and push it out more. I think that's the key. The fundamentals of selling don't change. Communication, going back and forth. I'm in my BDC right now, and I'm not used to being an internet manager, but I've become a BDC guy. And one of the things I'm learning is that everybody can send out an email, but until you get them on the phone, nothing seems to happen. There's emails, your texting, and your phones. And yeah, texting's a little better, especially with the millennials, because they got to text. But there's nothing like the voice, the inflection, the tone, the power of the back and forth. When you can talk to somebody, really makes a difference. But some of my people are using Skype, which is interesting. A couple of them are using Facebook Messenger to go back and forth with people. And there's so many different platforms. We don't know where we're going, but we know this. Car dealers, we're hardwired. We're going to find a way to adapt, try to find a way to survive. We're survivors.
That's right.
We're going to have to keep fighting and staying enthusiastic. I watch, is it Michael Engel? Who he is up in Pennsylvania? He's an inspiration. He can't open a door. Every day he goes on and puts a positive message on. He's humble. He's grateful. And when you see stuff like that, it really does make you feel good that there are some good things happening, so.
Yeah, I think some of what I like to see is I like to see people do something with this time that they have. We never get this kind of time.
Never.
I don't think we talked about this, right? And
yes, absolutely.
We have never had anything like this ever happen to you or me in the industry ever, or anyone for that much matter. No. So you got to take the time that we have to make something positive come from this. So it's like, whatever that plan is, whatever that dealer decides, whatever the plan may be, everyone's different. Everyone's going to be different from another dealer, and copying from one to the other just doesn't seem to work. So no one is a cookie cutter type deal. Yeah. Right? Everybody has their personality, and you got to keep that personality intact. That's who you are, and that's what you're all about. And so I think that's where it really creates that personable message, to our customers more, sending out, maybe a video about who we are, what we're all about to our customers, a video, email, whatever it takes to be able to start that dialogue, communicate the customer way. We have all this technology. We just need to be able to know how to use that and be obviously more successful. So I got to share a story with you real quick. So here is a dealership in New York now. New York is going through some tough stuff, right? I mean, they're shut down, literally. I mean, almost. Not as bad as PA. PA, I don't know. PA's worst. I think PA, you can't even do online deliveries.
That's correct. That's correct, to my knowledge.
Yeah, right. Here in New York, they're doing appointments. I don't know if you know that or not. They're at least doing that.
But that scares me. But yeah, okay.
And they're still spreading. So anyway, you guys. Well, anyway, so here's the thing. The guy, he says it was kind of interesting because, he actually had a digital. They had the digital platform, and We Buy. I understand it's a very neat, great way to do this whole thing. Unfortunately, he said, we had it, but none of the guys are using it or even know how to use it. And so I think that it's got to come from the top. It's like, how do we take these tools and actually implement them so we are, so we're successful with this, right? Yeah. So, and it's not everybody, like I said, it's going to be different from another. How far into that digital journey do we want to go before we engage with that customer? When is the best time to engage with a customer? Is it after they fulfill the credit application? Is it before they fulfill the credit application? How far into that process do we want to be? And from there, when does F&I get involved? Or is F&I still waiting? Okay, we're still going to wait till the Customer makes his way into the dealership and we're going to do it our way. So if that's the case, that's really not curbside delivery. That's just not, it's appointment setting. So
well, you know this, the best F&I people are ones that get involved early and often. Just like a sales manager, I worked for a dealer for years and years. And one of the things he says, good managers are airborne, not chairborne. So
oh, I like that saying. I might have to write that down.
Yeah, and an F&I person that sits in his office and just, by nature, F&I is reactive, not proactive. They kind of wait till the deal's kind of made, and then they beat the heck out of the front end, or would you leave me? Or how much room did you leave me? Or, the dinosaur era. Where the truth of the matter is, get out there on the floor, touch the salespeople, touch the sales manager. When the deal's working, do a manager introduction early and often. So be part of the process. And as it goes down, there's no exact science to every customer. We have a 10-step selling system, as almost everybody does. All the public companies, any great organization has a selling process. 12-step, 10-step, whatever it is. But if a customer wants to get their car appraised as soon as they walk in, appraise their car. If a customer wants to do pricing the second they get in, guess what? You give them a pricing. When I first started in the business, people would say, guy says, "They want your best price." And he says, "Well, I want a commitment." And we said, "That's the way it used to be." Well, give me a commitment or else I won't give you a price. Well, how can I give you a price if I don't have a commitment? And it was like, who struck Johnny? So, but as time's gone by and people have gotten smarter and information is more prevalent, information is power, and we have to operate, at what they give us. And
it's
we
funny.
Still got to build value, though, in us. That's what we have to do.
So, Kevin, you mentioned about this trade and appraising the trade. I'll never forget, because a little old school, they're in me. And I'll never forget when CarMax came out with, we're going to appraise your vehicle. No BS. You don't even have to buy your car from us. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. Why in the world would they do that? Smart.
Yeah.
Huh? So where does everybody go when they want to go ahead and start thinking about selling to buy a car? Well, how much am I going to get for my trade? And where do they go?
CarMax.
That's where they go. And I'm thinking to myself 10, 20 years later, that was freaking smart. So you just never know where this thing where it goes to, right? And
absolutely right.
I'll tell you, you're right, because for the longest time, I think I've worked with some of the best, the most talented individuals in the car business. We talked about that. And I believe, because of my roots, working in Maryland, having the opportunity to work with some of the best in the industry, including you, Kevin, really has made a huge difference. And, it was always about getting involved with the customer sooner rather than later. And I always would say to the sales managers, before you give up my profit, let me go out there first. And I'd run out there, right? Yeah. And make sure we got involved. And how many times was it that, I would look at a deal and somebody would say, we don't have a deal here. And I'm like, hold it up before we go there. Let me take a look at this. And I'll tell you, you know some of these strong F&I people, and they would cringe on the very ever fact of these sales managers being able to submit a credit application. Like, are you freaking kidding me? That's my freaking deal. You're not submitting my credit application. I mean, they're losing their minds now. It's like these guys up at the desk. Oh my God, we could talk about so much stuff. But the problem I'm seeing out there, Kevin, as I travel all about, I am seeing sales managers up at the desk, not all, but enough out there that have never been in F&I before. They're submitting credit applications and they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, dealer tracking Route 1 by nature, they take a nap and they shotgunning and yada, 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 which just, then you get a customer calling you, 30 days later, why did you bring my credit? Why I got so many inquiries?
It's got to be
smart. Almost like a loaded gun. It's like a loaded gun dealer track sometimes, isn't it?
It like is a loaded gun. And, here's the thing that I hear. Well, Becky, the bankrupt side, they want to see it. They want to see it. They want to see it. No problem. No problem with that. And I'm like, well, that's BS, because here's the deal. I know what they're doing. they don't care book to look or any of that. And I'm like, yeah, right. Because what it's teaching you is to be dumb. It's teaching you not to know your niche. And, if we're not asking for the additional $500, how do we know if this other bank's not going to go ahead and pick it up and I can get a better interest rate? Because they're teaching you to be stupid. And so we got to think through this better, smarter. That's why it doesn't bother me. I want customers to have some of that preliminary information earlier on. We always knew that to be a better way to go. Because why in hell would why would we want a customer on the wrong freaking car?
Yeah.
And then how many times has it been, we've got a favored on? How many times has this happened? We get this favored on and the customer doesn't do what?
They don't buy the car because they're not sold.
How many times they're like, hey, I can't do the freaking payment. You're crazy. So we got some questions coming in. So let's address some of these guys saying hi to everyone. And we've got Sahil, is that right? Hi, yeah. We've got Scott Sullins. Of course, they are always experts. Scott saying hi. Sahil Abai saying hi. How are you? We're doing good. Sabio is again, smile. Kevin, I guess. What are y'all doing? Okay. So not one customer through the front door today. Very weird.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I guarantee his internet's had a couple customers going through it though. His virtual showroom's open 24/7. So
is everybody thinking that customers are walking in the dealership like they used to? I mean, aren't we doing a better? I mean, I'm not speaking for you. You're the guy. You're the man. You're the G in the trenches. You see this.
We're not right now. We're not even allowed to let a customer in the front door. They don't have an appointment. We're not even allowed in Maryland now. I don't know about the other states, but in Maryland, we're not allowed to. I have a couple salesmen telling them get it on your phone outside, put an appointment in. You have to have an appointment to come in the showroom, and you have to wear masks. We just bought 100 extra masks today because Saturday we had customers in service try to come in without masks. And in Maryland, Governor Hogan, you're not allowed to come into a retail establishment without a mask on your face. I'm back in the BDC, but if I was out in the showroom, I got to have my mask on.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So they also need to have a mask on. So obviously it's like, okay, we don't know what we're doing here. But to have a customer coming in the front door like, hey, it's all good. I'm buying a car today. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a weird world when they can't come. Hey, Billy Ho, that's my buddy Billy.
Now,
great used car manager right there, Billy Karageorgis.
And then where does Billy work? What store?
He works at Lexus of Silver Spring.
Oh yeah, nice, good to see you, Billy. Glad you're able to make it with us. And we've got this. We're the dog, and everyone wants to jump on our back. It's always been that way, and always will. What's your thoughts about that one? We're the dog, and everybody wants to jump on our back. It's always been that way, and always will.
Now, all the actors aren't in Hollywood. We got to go along, take punches. It's like taking a TO or being a salesperson. You got to take some nose going in. You're going to take a couple body blows. I was a big college wrestler, and I was going to get hit upside the head a couple times on my way in, but I just kept coming, and it's no different during this thing we're in right now. We just got to keep fighting. We got to adapt. We got to try to get better. Yeah, and people do want to try to jump on your back, and people are going to make you crazy offers, and people are going to say crazy things. I had someone ask me about 0% financing on a 6-year-old used car yesterday. 6-year-old used car. I mean, really?
It
is what it is.
Yeah, we're giving away deals, but we're not giving. That's just a little bit bizarre, right? So let me ask you a question on that. Some of the dealers, I'm watching their marketing and campaigns, and they're going out with the 90 days of first payment, 0% is available now, that sort of stuff. Is there anything else coming from the manufacturer that you might be aware of that's really going to kickstart this whole thing?
Well, you've seen, a lot of stuff's going on right now. It's a lot of public service stuff, especially from the dealers. We're doing this. We got the steering wheel covers. We're disinfecting on our cars. And, I've been really impressed with Subaru. Subaru is, they're feeding people. They've taken a lot of their money and they're literally feeding people who need things. They've taken a lot of their stuff and their efforts, and they're going to put towards feeding people. There's a lot of really positive things. A lot of car dealers are doing some really positive things for a lot of people. So, a lot of people out of work, a lot of people don't have money, a lot of people who are struggling. Now we're getting stimulus checks. We're going to see how this all works. My big thing to all the car dealers out there and all the sales managers are, where are you going to be in 60 days? Are you going to be better? We're going to have business in 60, 90 days.
Yes.
We're going to have business. The question is, how quick do we ramp up?
Mm-hmm.
And are we better? What have we learned? What processes are now going to be the new norm? And, should we be better? And the answer is yes, because you and I said it earlier. We've never had time like this before.
Right.
We close at 6 o'clock at night. I don't know. I get home and my wife's like, "What are you doing here? You never get home this late."
I am not used to you being home this like get back to work.
I'm married 38 years. She's saying, "What are you doing home?"
Now what am I supposed to do with you? Maybe dinner. No, but yeah, I know. And so what is, this is what I'm a little concerned about. Let me tell you what I'm a little concerned about. I know how we all become. It was a scare. It scared the crap out of me. I know when I heard about the restaurants shut down, here I am out of state, and I'm thinking, what do you mean this restaurants are shutting down? How many people are in this hotel anyway? Well, we're about maybe a total of 9. I'm like, well, where did everybody go? They went home. So, I decided, I'm picking it up and I'm getting in, and I didn't even fly back home. I got in a car and drove back home.
Wow.
I just didn't want to put up with any of the BS. I wanted to, I just didn't want to take a chance. So ultra conservative, I guess. But so I kind of wonder, when this whole thing, that was a threat to me. That was a serious threat. What the hell's going on? I need to get home to my family. Now things are kind of wearing off a little bit. And it's like, oh, people, it's not so bad after all. I think we've got this. This is all going to be good and go. And then maybe some of these car dealers are thinking, well, we'll just get back to the way we've been doing business and everybody's hunky-dory. And I had a dealer who told me that today. He says, I don't feel that myself, but Becky, I talked to enough that actually feel as if business as usual in 3 months. And it's kind of, it's a shame, because to me, if in fact you're not taking this and being proactive with it and taking the time, like you said, what's your plan now? Because 2 to 3 months down the road, things are going to change up. How they change, we don't know. Are they walking in the dealership? Are we doing more appointments? Are we doing more curbside express delivery? And if we are, how does that work? And how does F&I get involved sooner rather than later? Where do all these puzzle pieces fit together? And sitting back and thinking, and I'm not saying that we have to completely reinvent the wheel. I think our fundamentals are good, right? But I think we need to tweak what we have.
I think, like in F&I in general, they've always, the perception for people on the front end, salespeople, and a lot of sales managers who haven't been in F&I, is that, they hold the golden goose. They're going like this. They're holding it. Okay. Don't you look. But,
Right.
I go back to information is power. Okay? Yeah. F&I people would scream and hollering if I said, don't tell the sales managers or the salesperson the buy rate. And my question is, well, if they don't know the buy rate, when a customer asks them what the payment is, what do you say? Okay, well, here's the deal. Once they do know the buy rate, then they have a responsibility to make a little money, to give them some room, to give them some space. So information is power. I think basically people, when they get up in the morning, they go to work, they want to do well. No one says, let me go to work and mess up. Let me mess up. Now, everybody's going to point out when you mess up.
That's right.
But if you don't know what you're doing or you don't have information, you're probably definitely going to mess up.
Yeah.
If you have some information, you probably won't. But 2 heads together, and a lot of it's timing. When you have, 9 deals working and you're deep, and you're making decisions, A lot of stuff's going to go by and by. Well, we're not that busy right now. I mean, a big day for us, a big Saturday is 15 to 20 cars.
Yeah.
Well, now we're selling 5 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So my F&I person should be there. We shouldn't be missing anything in F&I. Or, we should be offering a full spectrum of opportunities,
Yes,
questions to the customers now more than ever, and some of the fundamentals, and learn how quick can we get it, and how can we let them know our diversified portfolio and our products for our clients.
so let me ask you a question. What are your F&I people doing now to go ahead and engage with that customer? Are they utilizing any kind of share device, like Join Me on the computer, on their desktop? Are they doing any webinars? What are they doing to have FaceTime with the customer, and also at the same time maybe share their menu, do a menu presentation online? Is any of that really happening?
Not enough. We did, like I said, 2 of my F&I guys have done Skype on 2 deals. We've done about 5 home deliveries, which is actually more than I thought. But the bulk of the people still come in traditionally. They're wearing masks. Hard to drink coffee when you got a mask on, by the way.
It's true. I'll sip this one. Don't look at me. It's just, I get it. You know what I mean? So that's why, we're having a webinar Thursday, and my webinar, what I did was I collected a few people, and you should jump on the call with us. It would be awesome to have you come in as a guest speaker. But we're kind of talking this whole thing through. And I've got Michael German with Turbo Pass. Now, he is a vendor, but I'll tell you, he's a great guy. And one of the things I love about
I think the dealers are tired of vendors getting beat up. We've been getting vendorized to death.
Now we are. I'm sick of them myself. So, because you're full of shit. They don't have, I'm not all, but, I tell you, even, let me tell you something. I've been digging deep in this remote delivery process, okay? I know who's doing what with what. I know what Route 1 can do versus what I know Dealer Track. And I'm just telling you, they all say they do one thing, but it's quite different. And so what the heck is remote delivery, and what does a dealer really truly have available to them to do a complete transaction remotely? And what is the different terms from e-signature to e-contracting? What does e-contracting do versus what e-signature? So like, for an example, you have dealers that work with credit unions. Some do a lot of credit union business, and those guys are not connected. They're not on e-contracting. So you need to have the ability to do this e-signature, meaning a full electronic deal jacket, right? All of which neither one, Dealer Track or Route 1 does complete, but they say that they'll have that, I believe Route 1. But again, what are we doing with all the other banks that don't offer e-contracting?
How about the MVAs and the Department of Motor Vehicles? Because some of those things will let all the e-contracting done, but they won't. A lot of them won't let odometer statements have to be done by hand. Title applications have to be done by hand. So again, we're going down a path that the vendors think they got it all figured out. Because they want you to write a check.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everybody's down path. This is going to change a lot of things.
Oh, it's not really going to change a lot of things. See, I think that if I'm going to do a complete curbside delivery, if I'm going to do that, Kevin, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to get engaged with the customer. I'm going to find out when's the best time to engage, to do the interview online, how I can share desk, how I can do a better job sharing my desk top to present a menu. However, which way you can do it through Darwin. I don't care what you do it, but that's how you do it. And then we can set ourselves up, and then I can electronically send my deal out and have a customer sign as much of the paperwork that we can. There are going to be some wet signatures that are required for DMV. So they're coming here to the dealership to pick up the vehicle, and they want express service. So again, we're going to cut through all the bullshit. We're going to make sure that the customer has that express service. Vehicle's going to be cleaned up, ready to go. We have a champion sales associate ready to go ahead, do the walk around, and make sure to address and answer any questions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, test drive, I don't know. But at the end of the day, Then we do an accept, decline. And so anyway, so we're going to tackle a lot of these questions on this webinar. And Mike Jarman, he's the founder of TurboPass. What TurboPass actually does is verify the employment and income utilizing the bank statements, customers' the bank account. Okay. They don't rely on paper steps. And as you well know, some of these paper steps you may not want to rely on.
I saw, when you did your second chance credit stuff last week, and, from the GMs and the dealers' point of views, it's not getting a deal approved, it's getting it funded. Anybody can get a deal. Anybody can press a button, boom, get a green check. Okay. But can you getting it approved isn't important. Getting it funded is what's important. And getting those steps quickly. I thought one of the F&I, it's the salesperson's job to get steps. And all I kept saying to myself, okay, well, the inmates are running the asylum. If you spot it, you put your name on it, you own it.
I always used to say that, even when I was growing up in Maryland, dude. If you're going to go ahead and you're going out with this deal, and we're doing this deal without steps, up to you to get my step. Oh, yeah. I don't like this deal; it's ugly, but we'll do it because hey, you're on it, brother. But you're gonna, and that always seemed to work. But I always had really awesome GMs that supported me. We worked hard later, but we also made sure my GMs always supported me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't have this wishy-washy kind of stuff going on. We just didn't. It was like, let me tell you something, dude. If you're going to go ahead and you own it, this is on you.
Absolutely.
Right? That's the way it was done back in the.
And you put your name on it, you own it. You sign that front of the folder. Okay, to spot. Guess what?
Guess what? You better give me my freaking. Remember Hans? He'd be all over him. Get my freaking step. Because you're always him. Hans be getting the. Anyway, so that's right. So TurboPass, what this does is it knocks that out. So. Westlake Financial, if you're familiar with Westlake,
California, or aren't they out of California?
I don't think so, but they're nationwide, and they endorse the TurboPass. There are going to be a lot of other finance banks that are going to utilize this as the tool to confirm income without steps. That's the beauty of this. So whether or not a dealer wants to actually use it or not, it's still it's a dealership tool. It's not a bank tool. It is like, okay, I can verify this. I know I'm actually dealing with a real live human being that's actually employed. I can verify income. And sometimes we're dealing with self-employed people. It's tough and nail to go ahead and get income verified. So it is a great tool. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I think a dealership in your neck of the woods signed up, and I on it. Do you know anyone by name Paula Caruso?
A very good car lady. Absolutely.
She just signed up on it. What's that tell you? So I'm telling you, it's a great tool. So he's going to be on that call. We're going to have Todd Wolf. Todd Wolf, he is a fraud expert. And the reason why I wanted to bring Mr. Todd Wolf in is because many dealers are under the gun to make sure that these home deliveries are secure. And, a lot of these guys, they just jump at the chase to go ahead and get a car delivered without verifying, validating the transaction. So he's going to talk about what is the dealership obligated to if in the event you're delivering a vehicle to someone who takes off to another state. Yeah. So I thought that some of that is really good. And we'll have Peter from another dealership in New York talking about what's been going on and, how he is actually surviving through this whole.
Yeah, New York. Wow. I'd be interested to hear that.
So, let's see. Do you know Walter?
Absolutely. Hey, Walter. That's a good man. He runs College Park at the University of Maryland. They have a Hyundai store. Walter does a great job. Very talented individual.
Awesome. And then we have Justin Reed, I think.
Justin Reed works for the Oarsman Group. He's a really good car guy. He worked for Dark Cars for many, many years. Very talented.
Yeah. So I think that again, thank you guys. It would be great if you could, make the webinar. It's on Thursday, And it is at 1 p.m. and it's not a Facebook Live though. It's an actual Zoom webinar and I know some of the guys maybe still are a little bit more uncomfortable with how to work with the Zoom, but just take the link and try to make a phone call and grab the code while you're at it. But I think that I think that it's not, we just got to keep thinking outside the box, right? And we can't keep going backwards. We got to go forward, however, which way this shakes out in the end, right?
Yeah. It's really important that we as leaders, though, we keep the energy, the enthusiasm. We look for good things from people right now. We try to catch people doing things right instead of wrong, because right now, more than ever, our body language, our energy, our enthusiasm, our ability to coach, to mentor, to support our people is more important than it's ever been in the car business. This is we knew in '08 it was bad, and we knew we've been through some bad times, but this is a whole different world. And when people are scared, they look for leadership no matter what. And people are scared right now, and rightly so. Anxiety has been kicking in on so many people, including, I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm saying, this really didn't happen. Did this really happen? Is this really going on? And it is. So, you still got to get out of bed. You still got to stand up, and you still got to take those first steps. And it starts with a smile and trying to find positive things here. You see so many great stories about people doing things for the community, for people that are less fortunate than us. And, I'm humbled by the way America, and mostly a lot of car dealers, they're doing some wonderful things. Yeah. A lot of dealers are doing wonderful things. And a lot of the manufacturers are doing wonderful things for the community. So we really got to think for people that have it less than us. And, this is a tough time. And, but no stinking thinking. We got to get our heads right, and we got to smile, and we got to have some fun. You know what I mean? So
I'll tell you what, I've been so busy doing these webinars, FaceTime, Facebook, and really getting out there and talking to dealers and, seeing how I can help and, anything that I can do to make a difference. And so now I'm taking time for myself to think through some of things that maybe I should have been thinking about, 2 years ago. So
you're making a difference. I can tell you, I've been down and stuff like that. And your broadcasts have brought me up and got my energy back. And
good.
And I'm hoping today somehow there's some people we're reaching to get their spirits up, because it really starts with your energy. It starts with your enthusiasm. It starts with your attitude. And once you get that going, there's nothing we can't accomplish, we can't get done. But we have to have those things first and foremost.
So here's what I would think. Now it's just my thinking, but I think outside the box. So not so much old school, but why aren't we doing a better job? And here's a time right now for F&I. And I want to say that we want to empathize with our customers, absolutely, all day long. They're going through some really tough times home. Never know, family member, whatever. But here's a good time to go. There's Dealer Socket and some of these other CRMs that really give you the ability to do a deeper dive onto those customers who may have purchased a vehicle but didn't buy a service contract. And so why aren't we digging into those files and saying, hey, it's time to call the customers, time to go ahead and do some emails out there. Let's go ahead. If we're not selling the service contract, let's sell them a maintenance plan. If we're not selling a maintenance plan, let's go ahead. Let's sell them another car. This couldn't be a better time to do that. And how long has that Wilkins Automotive Group been around? Forever.
40s, since the 40s. Absolutely.
Well, longer than me. No. But what I'm saying is, think about all the customers who have purchased a vehicle from that automotive group that no one is digging in and saying, hey, by the way, you're coming out of your manufacturer's, warranty. Now is the best time to take advantage of my service contract. Well, let me tell you what we have.
Well, the third parties are doing that, because you'll see a lot of times they go to MBA and they're getting lists and they're doing indicators for people saying, hey, your warranty's about to expire, because that information is being doled out. So they're indicators. So you see these insurance companies calling our customers.
Insurance. I mean, come on, your own back in the
time, right? But the other thing is your service department is the proving ground. You got customers coming through all the time that bought the car at Joe's used car lot, or they bought the car from their cousin and they're out of warranty. They're there. So going through ROs right now for F&I people, you could go through ROs with 85,000 mile cars. They're out of factory warranty, and there's opportunities there. But you're right, you got to dig.
You got to dig a little bit. I think this. I don't know if you're on Dealer Socket or what CRM.
Eleads.
I think Eleads has it, and I think basically it's like AutoZone or whatever. I mean, and you go right in there and it tells you all the customers. I mean, it can't be any freaking easier than that. And then you're sending an email, and then you call up and say, hey, by the way, I worked a pay plan like that. And I'll never forget, as long as you remember, what the hell was this? Jim Coleman? Hi, Jim. Jim Coleman in Bethesda. He was something else. So anyway, so it was a Cadillac store years back. So anyway.
He's still there.
Is he?
He's got a Toyota store there in Bethesda, and he's got Land Rover and Honda in Clarksville, Maryland, Howard County.
I got some good stories for you there, but it was. I mean, they're good. They're good. They're decent stories. But I'll never forget. Well, anyway, so they put this contest together, whatever it was. Mike Murray. Do you know Mike Murray by chance? He was a GM back in the day. Well, he was interesting, but that's all I can say about it. He was a good guy, but he was crazy. So they put this contest together, and they'd never been able to reach 50% service contract penetration before. It was 35% at best. So they said, okay, we're going to make your pay plan, and it's going to be based off of service contract sales. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, that didn't take much to figure out, right? Where am I getting the service contracts? Well, that was easy. I went back to the service department. How much do I have to pay you? I don't know if he actually knew how aggressive I was, but he found out. So anyway, they had this contest, and we're going to go ahead and pay your way to Las Vegas for the show, the Cadillac show, the GM show, or whatever it was. And so Jim said to Mike, he goes, "You don't think she's going to win that, do you?" Nah, she's not going to win that. Besides, her husband won't let her go. Not only did I go, but Jake dropped me off at the airport. See ya.
Good for you.
Good story. So that's the fun thing about the car business, isn't it?
It's a fun business. We get to meet new people every day. We have new situations all the time. It's the greatest business around. There's no doubt about it. So much fun.
It is. If you can't have fun, man, go do something different, because if you can't have fun in car business, something is wrong with you.
Absolutely.
Yes, I want to thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
We sure do. We have quite a bit of comments here, people viewing. This has turned out to be fantastic, fabulous, and and encouraging some of these other guys that we're going to get through this, right? And hey, even be better for it, right? And This is the time to put those plans, process in place that maybe wasn't necessarily, going right anyway. So time to, kind of rework all that. So
stay strong, keep going. Rebecca, I appreciate everything you do. You are an inspiration to everybody. And I reach out to, everybody to stay strong, stay positive, have some fun.
Thank you again, Kevin. It's a pleasure to have you. And let's not let this be the last time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you. Bye.